Hey guys, welcome back to the Tukes and Tires YouTube channel. As always, I'm Zach, and this week we're making up some custom upholstery for my LS Swap sleeper that I call Gramps, so that we can practice making upholstery for the Blazer. So here we go.
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada. Okay guys, well, here we are. Sorry if it's a little windy outside, it's just, just what we're dealing with. But we're gonna be doing some upholstery today, and we're gonna be doing it on my LS Swap sleeper that I call Gramps. It's a little test for me because actually for everybody that's following along with the Blazer build, I plan on doing my whole interior. Like, I want to do everything. I want to do the seats. I want to, anything I can, I want to sew myself. So I think that's gonna be pretty sweet. So basically all these upholstery videos is me testing myself to see if I can do the things I want to do. So we got a little thing we're gonna fix up on this today, and we got time in between now and Motorama to do so. But the seat is a little ripped up, which I'm okay with. I don't mind that. It's getting pretty bad, so maybe one of these days we might fix it. But it's really the visors. So I'm getting really sick and tired of garbage falling in my eye every time I want to use this. This one, anybody know if that's a factory option or it's just busted? Because this one doesn't do that. But the lady's complaining that she's getting dirt on her, so we're gonna take these off, and I got a sweet idea for what we're gonna do to fix them up. They're not gonna look as factory as these ones, but I have a really cool idea that I think everybody will appreciate my thought process behind it after we get there. So let's get these out and let's bring them back to the barn where it's not so windy. Okay, so we got those visors out, and I'm basically going to show you the the essential things I'm going to use to make this stuff. So first off, we have our vinyl here. I'm going with vinyl. These were like a cloth material. I think this is going to hold up a lot better. I have a thread for the sewing machine. And Lacey, you just gotta get out of here. Then I bought this more heavy duty one, and I'll show you what we're gonna do with that in a second. And then we got vinyl cutter to cut the vinyl. I got my sharp scissors. I just got a square. I do have a big ruler here, so we can cut straight lines and stuff with the fabric. And then I just got some needles and other things for hand stitching. So okay, Lacey, can you get your leg off here? And we also got some Super 77 spray adhesive. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna de-stitch all the stuff off of this factory one. We're gonna get rid of these clips and things that used to pinch the material in certain spots. We might keep them, might use them for there. I'm not too sure yet. I don't think so anymore, because the way I'm gonna do it is basically gonna be all sewn on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make patterns off of this for front and a back, and it'll be sewn inside out first. And Lacey, you really gotta get off this. I'm trying to show the people with the thing. This is just not going well. All right, workbench, it is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be sewing the first part inside out, and we're basically gonna be sewing this seam here. So that way we'll be able to leave the cardboard all on this thing, and I don't have to take it off, and we're gonna slip it into our pocket. And then on the other seam, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 2 factory edges on this, and that's what the spray adhesive is for. And we're going to basically bring it over here, and we're gonna do a baseball stitch along the back side of this seam here where it's kind of square. Don't know how that's going to work out yet. Basically, I'm trying all this stuff out so that we can see how it's going to work on the Blazer. I think it's going to work pretty good. And we're going to do it on my driver's side one first, because if it's kind of wonky, it'll be all right. This one is also extremely heavier than that one, so maybe there is some kind of weird sliding mechanism in there. I have no idea. But for the passenger side one, because if you got yourself a short lady, she, the visor never works for her. So we're going to do a custom little thing onto this one that will essentially, it'll be on here. It'll look, when it's up, it'll look just like a regular visor. But when we, when it's down, there'll be like little Velcros that you can pull off, and there'll be an extra little flap that will turn down so she can actually not be blinded by sun, because I'm such a nice guy. So we're going to get de-stitching this, and then we're going to make up some vinyl, and we'll come back to showing you what we have to do once we get to that point. So here we go. Okay guys, well, we got our one pattern made up for our sew line, right? So I'm going to show you how we did that. It's pretty simple. So we just took our visor, our old visor, and this one actually has a pretty sweet little mechanism in there, so that's cool. But we just took the fabric off and cleaned it up. Lacey, you stay over there. We just cleaned it up. I just used some sandpaper and stuff to get all that old foam junk off of there. And I had to repair this a little bit because these fell off, so I just put some Gorilla Tape in there to hold them on for now. We're going to be doing a sew line all there anyways, and it's going to be what it's going to be. But all we did was place this on here, so obviously we got to make a reverse one now. But all I did was put it on there, use the pencil, trace some lines on it. And what do these lines mean that I have on here? So for me, the way I look at it is this outside edge now is going to get sewn, and then this edge right here, what we're going to do with it is why it has two lines is because this back side is 1/2 inch. So I just split that in half. Split the difference, so that's going to be 1/4. And what we're going to do is after we sew this bit together, this side right now, once we get the other pattern made up, we're going to fold this over to make a factory edge, and we're going to do a baseball stitch along this seam. My brain thinks it's the best way to go about it. Kind of looks decorative, and it's just an interesting way to, you know, slip it in there, because this seam right here, I have an H marked for a hole because that's where the rod has to come in and out. So this here, I might even like split this, and then we might glue this edge as well, but we're only going to sew to a certain point of this so that it's got a hole. But over here, it could be all sewn. So I'm hoping once we get her made up that everything should be able to, you know, ram it in there, and then we should be able to stretch everything around. Don't know how well it's going to work out, but now all I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this out the opposite way onto our pattern here, and then we can get to gluing these edges and trying to sew it together to see how it goes. So here we go. Okay guys, well, we got both of our patterns made up. I kind of messed up a little bit, but that's okay. You see, we're learning. I should have here, because I noticed when you look at this thing up here, it's got like, it goes from nothing to, you know, the 1/2 inch. So we're gonna see if this is gonna work out. I already cut this off here, but all I'm gonna do is when I come to sew, I'm just gonna basically sew out. So we're gonna see if that works. So, but now we're gonna glue. We're going to do these edges. So it's only this edge and this edge, but this one here gets that, you know, it only folds for here, right? To leave that where we're going to do our baseball stitch along here. And then this one here is where a hole is. So it's going to have like a nice looking thing coming out there. I don't think you're going to see it too much when it comes to here. I know the old fabric used to wrap around. Either that, or what I could do is I might not glue this one, or I might not even sew it, and we'll just make it so that when we go to put it on, that it gets tucked in there. I think that's sounding like a plan. But now we're gonna spray some of this Super 77 3M on there on these two lines, and then we'll wait for it to tack up, and then we'll fold it over. So let's see. Oh, can hasn't been used in a while. Okay, well, it's shooting out on a funny angle, but Just drenching her. I don't know, we just get it on there heavy. I don't want it to stick. Alright, pull this away. Oh, my finger's sticky. So, we'll let that tack up. I put a lot on there, so it is what it is. This thing is like right clogged up, but let's see how it goes. Okay guys, so we got that glued up, and I got this edge bent over. All I used was, I just used some glue, and then I had a strip that I had cut off of there. So after I folded it over, I just put this on here, and I just used a rubber mallet to whack it. Don't know if that's doing anything for it. Probably not, but I think it's gonna hold long enough for what we have to do. It's basically just for the edge, because once it's sewn together, it should always hold together, is my thought behind it. Don't know if that's gonna work. So now we're just gonna take both of these upstairs, because that's where we moved our sewing machine to, and we're gonna sew this together, and we're gonna flip it inside out and see how it turns out. So wish me luck. Here we go. Okay guys, sorry about the lighting, but this is the best we can do. So we got our piece all clipped together here, and we're just gonna start sewing it slowly, or as slow as the machine will let me go, because I mean, I'm not an expert on this thing. If I could see what I'm doing, but we're gonna figure it out. So here we go. Also, now this is sticky, and it's probably gonna go terrible. Well, there we have it. Now we can go see if we can snake this onto our thing downstairs. So here we go. Okay guys, well we're back downstairs, and I got it slipped on there, and I think it's looking pretty good. I noticed a few things. Probably what I should have done is maybe on these corners here, the little excess material that was in there kind of bunched up funny. So what I should have done is maybe went and like either did slits so that it could curve a little better afterwards, after I sewed it. But I mean, for this truck it'll be perfectly fine. We can mess around on the other visor. So now all we got to do is we just got to put this baseball stitch onto here, and also glue this edge in or something where that goes. But we'll get set up to do the baseball stitch, and then I think this one is going to be pretty good. So here we go. Okay guys, well now we're at the point where we're going to be doing the baseball stitch. So I also, last time you seen it, this was kind of lumpy here. So I ended up, I took it back off and I put some relief cuts in the corners, and now it's looking pretty good. So if we can just get this back into my expert level stand here. All right. So there's lots of videos online about doing baseball stitch, you know, different ways and whatnot. And this is the way I'm going to be doing it. If I can get this to sit back up there again. What we did was we got our thread. It's the same thread I used to sew this together. But we went 6 lengths of the distance we want to run with the stitch. I went 7 to be on the safe side to have extra, and now we have on either end of our thread we have 2 needles, right? So it's, you know, both ends. This bit's gonna get probably tangled up like crazy, and now it's all. Look at what we've done now on this piece of wood here. This isn't good. Holy Toledo. Please, you help me. We'll figure it out. Okay. All right. Anyways. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to start down here, and I didn't have like a leather punch or anything, but I have one of these things for making circles, and it's got points on it. So all I did was on the inside, I drew 2 straight lines, and I don't know if you guys can see that in there. You can see I actually started measuring it out with a dial caliper, but that was time consuming. So I just pierced holes through the vinyl, and it gives us a perfect spot to start doing this stitch. So we're gonna just start. It's like tying your shoelaces, kinda. So we're gonna start underneath, and then we're gonna you cross over. So you go under. Yeah, you start under, and then you go over, under, over, under, over, and then you go like you just keep switching sides, if that makes sense. I might find something else to clamp this in here because my thread is going to get stuck up on these logs, so bear with me here. Okay, so we're resituated now with these fancy boxes. So we're gonna get our thread going here. So we're gonna find our first hole. It's way down here somewhere. So we're gonna just start one. We can find the other hole. Start the other, and then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this pulled through, and then we'll even it out. Come on, dear. My arms aren't long enough. So now, I'm pretty sure you could start with any side, but I'm gonna start with the right side. So now all we're gonna do is I'm going to find the other hole I made, if I could see it. So basically, we're just going to continue to repeat this process over and over again, and this under over situation, and then it'll be sewed together. So we'll come back once it's all sewn together. So here we go. Okay guys, well that visor turned out pretty sweet. There's a few things that I've learned from this one to do onto the other one, but that's okay. It's all a learning experience. It's good practice for me to figure out, you know, what to do when it comes time to make all the upholstery for my blazer. But I think this is a, you know, cool little hobby to get into if you want to save a couple bucks. Like, now that I own everything, to make up these little visor covers, I think only cost me like, I don't know, I think it was like 30 bucks. So I mean, I don't know, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to bore you guys with making up the other one. I have all the parts made up here. The little flip down mechanism that's going to go on there, I'm not happy with it yet, so I don't know how that's going to work yet. So I don't know, we're working it out. And I'm not going to bore you guys with a baseball stitch, because it took a long time. I think it took me about 3.5 hours just to do this, because I probably don't know what I'm doing, or I'm just a perfectionist and I want it as tight as possible. I don't know. There's lots of videos on the internet how to do that. I know I kind of touched on a little bit in this video, but don't trust me because I'm not an expert on that. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for now, guys. I hope to see everybody at Motorama that can make it out. I know this was a fun little project in between now and then. Hopefully I'm a little bit better. I just got a little head cold, so everybody cross their fingers for me. Thank you. But yeah, now I'm gonna start organizing everything to, get all the Motorama stuff ready, but that'll be in the next video, so stay tuned for that. We're going to do a video on, you know, what it takes to have a booth at Motorama. Not really, it's basically just my journey of that experience, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Thank you everybody for watching, and everybody that has subscribed. I really appreciate it. You guys are the best. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. Lacey's gonna try to jump up here. How's it going, Lacey? But yeah, we'll catch you guys next time, and as always, don't forget to salute the beaver.